Here in my car, I can face it. Something. I do something and something in cars. Mm, mm. Oh, yeah. This I ran across this and was like, no way. So there was an alleged snap fraud. We're using allegedly now. We have to do that. This is our new thing. I hate to say this, but damn, that's where we're at. Even though it's pretty cut and dry, we're going to be professional and do alleged, and we're going to get used to it. Here we go. So a $50,000 EBT card, but it was actually more than one card. But one person getting benefits from 6 different states. This is not what we're trying to be funding here. Oh my gosh. And I'll just kind of read the article and just let them do some talking for me here. But this was mainstream, by the way. This came out of from the Samuel Short dude from this big MSN people. You know, MSN is actually having to get in on this now. They realize like, this is pretty wild. And MSN, they're going to put a little spin on it, but we'll just kind of do the best we can with what we got to work with here. But as the article goes on to say, thank you very much for writing this article, MSM, doing some journalism. If there's any good that comes from the government shutdown, it's exposing all the fraud being committed, but to exploit the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, i.e., SNAP. All right, to be sure, there are millions of needy Americans who are hurting from being deprived of SNAP. As they try to support children and keep their families from going hungry, this is not about them. This is about the other people, the individuals who dip into the program unjustly at the expense of the taxpayer, which also, by the way, kind of like really diminishes people that all the money that would be saved could be facilitated in saving money or put money in other infrastructure that would make things better for the people in need. Okay. But that's me saying that, just the news reporting that the Department of Agricultural Deputy Secretary Stephen Vaden has indicated his agency is engaging in data collection related to SNAP across several states to see where funds for the program is going. But he says so far he has uncovered what he's uncovered is not promising. Vaden cited an instance of an individual getting SNAP in 6 different states. Another person had over $50,000 loaded on their electronics benefit card. The EBT card works like a credit card almost, in a sense. I'm just giving you an idea. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some personal experiences I've had amongst the public because of the fact that I bumped elbows with a lot of really weird and bad people along the way because I grew up tough, grew up hard. I've seen some stuff. I've been to prison before, guys. But anyways, now I guess I'll just summarize that. What are we talking about here?
20 other, 20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in a litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name. 5,000 dead people. 80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So this light, Laura, that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history, that we are working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it, and we're really, really excited about doing that for the American people.
So this is
Lauren Ingraham, by the way, did some tough footwork, having actually kind of come at Trump about, dude, his HB1 visa things are kind of effed up. And he needs to realize that. That's a problem. What happened to 2016 Trump when he spoke out against this kind of stuff and understanding how much it harmed the American people? But we'll stay on the subject here. And I'm going to move on to this other article. We'll let this be in the background. Just let that be in the background because Jack Smith screwed up bigly. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. But let me just go into some of the things that I've seen in my personal experience and something that I know to be true at this very point in time. I know people, and I know of people that are currently exploiting the SNAP system for cash money, for drugs. There's I know a lot of people. It's terrible, but there are people that don't even keep their EBT card or their SNAP card or whatever you want to call it. They actually just let somebody else just have it, like the dope man or whoever this might be. For whatever reason, they got it, and they know when it clicks, and they go get their groceries, and they get a monthly supply of whatever they need, cash or any other kind of party favors. And this is normal for a lot of people. They've actually made it part of their financial structure in their world. So and so with the money they spend on that, or they get from that, is what they facilitate some of their extracurricular activities with, which may be getting certain cosmetologies things. Just the and the thing is like, personally, I grew up tough and I grew up hard. I grew up in a very, very, very not such a good home environment. And my mother got at the time, they were actual real food stamps. They came in a form of a piece of paper that you stripped off the thing and you handed it to the grocery store, almost like a form of currency in a dollar bill. Well, let me tell you something. These kids are gonna go hungry because their parents is on drugs, and they even if they're on drugs, at least they're gonna have food in their belly. No, they won't. No, they won't. Because my mom would sell her food stamps. I love my mama. Don't get me wrong. I love her. We know we'll always got love for our parents, but I'm just telling you, I personally know this to be a fact. I was hungry all the time. Yes, I would have to. My neighbors would feed me and stuff. They seen what was going on. My grandmother had to step in and like kind of like say, "All right, he's coming with me. You're on your own. He's coming with me." My grandma ended up raising me, but it was tough, man. And the more, and she would go back and get more. She'd go reapply. I need more food stamps. I need more food stamps. I love my mama, but this is how she functioned because she had substance issues. And by the way, my privilege as the color of my skin would dictate otherwise, but that's a whole other video. Yeah, the more she got, the hungrier I was, and the better she felt. So this whole persona about they need to if you're going to if I got to pass a drug test to get a job at certain places, then you need to pass a drug test to get your benefits, and that'd be fair game. I can't make the money to feed my family because I can't pass a drug test. Well, then how come you get to? It's no fair. And of course, life's not fair, but I mean, at least we could level the playing field on things that are realistic, and that'd be one of them. Now let's talk about Tina Peters. An exclusive, Jack Smith may have handed President Trump the golden key to pardon Tina Peters, guys. This is pretty wild. This is good stuff. The Jack Smith, an analysis of recent released data from the Arctic Frost documentations, which include Jack Smith's list of conservatives he spied on, reveals some shocking information. The House Judiciary Committee began releasing a list of individuals for whom Jack Smith, the Biden administration, illegally spied on, and one significant finding has emerged. The Arctic Frost document of inventory of Americans spied on Jack Smith, blah, 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 blah. Mike Lindell was involved with Tina Peters for some time. He invited Tina to his first symposium in South Dakota, and I'm gonna try to keep the video short, but I can go into a lot of detail about that. But anyhow, that was the first time we heard of Tina, and from the county clerk from Messi County, Colorado, and she was, of course, in charge of elections and how they were, put together and ran and made sure everything was documented and done like it's supposed to be. But she shared she shared at Mike Lindell's symposium in South Dakota that she had identified altered results in her election system after a recent election that was shocking news in the highlight of the first symposium. There are countless articles linking Mike Lindell to Tina Peters and the election problems that she discovered in Mesa County. Tina Peters was later indicted in Colorado under state court, and the indictment is on bogus charges. This is what the article says, and in my opinion, that would be the case. And this is all alleged until everything, evidently they got her for 9 years, but still something's not right considering the fact that she was doing her job. But, President Trump is unable to pardon her because he lacks the authority to pardon a state crime. No president to date has pardoned someone from a state crime. However, in the case of Colorado has managed, or how it was managed, or significantly impacted by individuals who are part of a federal government, then some believe that President Trump could pardon Tina. This would be very interesting to see how this played out. Of course, you'd have activist judges that may step in and try to stop this all from happening. They would have to go to the Supreme Court, and it may or may not go through. And I don't know even if Trump wants to put his neck out there for this, but this is a possibility, and it'd be nice if we would actually see something come out of this, because she's a great lady, and she's not holding up very well. 72 years old. She needs to get out of there. So the FBI issued a statement almost immediately after Peters came forward, stating that they would investigate her for potential violations of federal laws. The Biden regime never formally prosecuted Tina, but it appears that Biden's Department of Justice was working closely with local Colorado officials who sought to put Peters in jail. And Mason County District Attorney Deanne Rubenstein included Matthew Kirsch, the United States Attorney for Colorado, in May 17, 2022, email to multiple district attorneys across Colorado. The email is titled Rule 3.8 Meeting, which appears to reference the rules of professional conduct for prosecutors. So they were trying to figure things out and understand things. And going down and through here, it says email suggests that Rubenstein was having some trouble reconciling the prosecution of Tina Peters with prosecutors' rules of professional conduct. He had to call in the cavalry to help him brainstorm ways to avoid with the accused of wrongdoing. So, in other words, he needed to make sure that the federal government was not going to come down on him. Like, hey, is it cool if I do this? Yeah, we got your back, bro. Anyhow, Rubenstein appears to recognize that there is no precedent for the prosecution he wants to undertake, as he exposes a desire that this group of legal minds start writing opinions and issuing guidance, and these guidance documents in the vein of Colorado Bar Association, CBA, and the Colorado District Attorney's Council, the CDAC. Without a coherent legal pathway for prosecution, it appears that Rubenstein encouraged this course action to provide prosecutors with cover. Second, Rubenstein notes that it is problematic that they have no formal appointments from a government body to lay the groundwork to prosecute Peters. Third, Rubenstein informs the group of their need to anticipate defending themselves as to why they didn't seek an opinion on Pelosi's case. The Colorado Bar Association's Ethics Commission. Rubenstein and his cronies appear to have succeeded in their efforts. The veneer of the legitimacy, because of 3 months after this email was sent, Peters was indicted in a grand jury. And of course, they handpicked a grand jury. And then later on, through media bias and jury pool, what do they call that? Poisoning, or whatever you want to call it. This was the thing. Anyhow, there's definite, but with the emails that I uncovered with the Arctic Frost stuff and all the wacky stuff between Jack Smith and Chris Wray and other people, definitely shows that there was federal involvement. This case was not left to be to the state. This was pretty much the federal government saying, we want you to go after Tina Peters. We need you to do it. We need this done at a state level. That way it isolates any kind of federal repercussions that could come down. And we got your back, bro. Don't worry. One way or another, you're going to be protected. If there's any kind of ethics violations, we got your back, bro. So, with that being said, is Trump going to do anything? I hope. I would like to see this. And will they arrest people? Come on, Pam Bondi, do some arresting. Kash Patel, quit covering everything up. Oh, thank you for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.